It is Wednesday, November, I'm going backwards to October, November 7th, 2018. Yesterday was election day. I hope everybody went and voted. Hubby and I went and voted yesterday. And, you know, normally we don't go vote unless it's presidential, but I've come to the realization that this is more important. You know, the midterms are more important than elections. Just because we vote you know, Congress and the representatives in, and that's actually who writes the laws. Yeah, the president does his little stuff, which can make our life a little uncomfortable or a little frustrating, but most of the stuff that he writes has to be passed by the House and Congress. So as long as you are voting in who, out of everybody who's an option, who represents your views and your wants, then, you know, it's most likely the president's stuff is going to get turned down. And at this point, it's very, very important. The way our country is going, you know, it's so important. You know, realistically, your vote doesn't really count when it comes to presidents, just because we have the electoral vote. And so, like we've seen with Trump, you know, even though the majority voted for Hillary, Trump made it in because representatives and for the electoral vote voted Trump, even though the majority was for Hillary. So, you know, it's very, very important to make sure that you vote not just in presidential elections, but in every election, even your local ones. And I'm one of the bad ones that don't really go and vote in my local elections. You know, I'm really a bad one for that, and I should do better on that, because that's just as, you know, important as all of them, because you're voting in judges, and you're voting in you know, mayors, and you're voting in district representatives, and all of that's important because they're the ones who talk about taxes and transportation and water and school budgets and all of that stuff. And so that affects you directly as well. You know, as a renter, if taxes go up, my rent's going to go up because the landlord can only eat so much of the taxes. You know, if the city decides to take away garbage removal, then, you know, what happens? That means that now my landlord has to pay for garbage removal. So now what happens? Oh, well, now my rent's going to go up, or I have to get rid of the garbage myself. So there's a lot of things that affect you during an election, and it's very, very important. And most people think, it doesn't matter, because no matter what, they're not representing me, my best interest. And, you know, in a way, you're right. You know, because they're going to do what they want to do regardless. So obviously, they can't make everybody happy, but they have to make the majority happy. And, you know, so it's kind of the minority, because they're going with the majority. The minority gets shit on most of the time. And so that's why it's important to have people from your peers run. You know, we really need more real people in office. You know, we need more people who know what life is really like, you know, instead of these millionaires who have no idea what it's like to go, you know, paycheck to paycheck. You know, we really need real people. We need to change a lot of the way that our stuff works. You know, and I think I've talked about this before. I know I've talked about this before. I've been doing these videos for a while, so why wouldn't I have talked about it? But I truly believe we need to take away the salaries and start compensating, and all the fringe benefits that they get, and start compensating based on workable hours for these politicians. And I truly believe that they should still have their jobs. You know, they should not have this as their sole income. I think we should go back to the way it used to be, where, you know, it was an honor to be part of the government, you know, and you truly did represent your people and do what was best for your people. You know, right now we have corporate America paying our politicians, you know, and that's the saddest part, because that's where us, the people, get lost. Because we can't, our money can't compete with that. You know, we can't compete with corporate America. And I think we need to pull that out of that. And, you know, like the guy running for governor said, you know, it was $25 million that they spent on this campaign, and we have children in Maine who don't have enough food. That's ridiculous. And you know what it is? It is the amount of money that is spent on elections, but we're not willing to spend that money on education. We're not willing to spend that money on better infrastructure. We're not willing to spend that money on bettering the homeless or veterans, but we're willing to spend that money, corporate America, because, you know, it's $25 million. That's one candidate. One candidate. So there were 5 running. Now, all 5 didn't get $25 million, but the top 2 paid $25 million or more. So we'll just say $50 million. You know, we'll even go on the lower end. $10 million for 4. That's $40 million times 52. You know what I'm saying? So, like, what in the heaven's name are we doing? And when is somebody going to step up and make a change? When is somebody going to say enough is enough? Let's do it this way. And it can be done. And it has to be done. Because it's just ridiculous what is happening. So here in Maine, Janet Mills won, which is great. I know my bosses are not going to be too happy because they wanted their Republican to win. And the Democrat won, and they don't like Democrats. I know a lot of my coworkers are not happy either because they are Republicans. And so it's a record. This year was a record for a lot of different things. Maine voted their first female mayor. Way to go, Maine. And they believe it was the highest turnout for midterms. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be that way all across the country. We voted a Somalian. We voted a Muslim in. We voted a Indian in. We voted a gay person in. They voted a transgender in. If that doesn't speak to who America is and what America stands for, I don't know. So all of this bullshit that's been going around, the intolerance, the unaccepting, the belligerence, the ignorance, needs to stop. Because the majority of America does not feel that way. Obviously, if these people are winning these elections. So that's it. Surgery is like 3-4 weeks away or so. A week away from the diet. So 2-3 weeks away. So 3 weeks away, a week away from the diet. Not really making any adjustments yet. I'll make those adjustments the week of the diet. Right now, I'm indulging in taking an enjoying every single thing I possibly can, because once the diet starts, that is when it's all over. There will be no indulging in any of that. After surgery, you know, I have that, once I'm able to eat normal again. I've read so many people, so many different things in this support group for the surgery, and people are just going back and eating shrimp and I mean, like, the shrimp isn't really all that bad, but like they're eating, you know, awful, and wondering why they're gaining their weight back. I don't understand why people would do that, all that pain and suffering and everything you went through just to gain it all back. I don't understand. Well, I'm not doing it. I'm going to, right off the bat, stick to a low-carb, high-protein diet. I'm not going to call it keto. I'm not going to call it keto, you know, whatever. I'm going to call it low-carb, high-protein. And that's what I'm going to do. It's not going to be Atkins or any of that. It's Virginia's. And I'm going to stick to that. Low-carb, low-fat, high-protein. And that's what I'm going to have for a diet. So, and I'm going to work out. I'm going to make sure I get my 10,000 steps in a day, and work some weights and all of that, because it's very, very important that I do all of that. So, you know what I say, the best investment you can make is an investment in you. What are you investing in you today? I'm investing, just chillaxing. Excuse me. I've got so much. I'm trying to get these t-shirt design things working, and the stupid Cricut website was down yesterday, and it's messing up, and they're like, oh, just change browsers, oh, delete your cookies, oh, I shouldn't have to do any of that bullshit. I really should not have to do any of that bullshit. I'm so not happy with this company at all. I'm really, really not. But I bought it and I'm stuck with it until I upgrade, and I can't upgrade until the business starts to make more money, because I need to invest in a printer. And once I invest in a printer, it opens up other options for t-shirts and that I can make, and that's just where it's at right now. And I just, it is what it is. So that's where I'm at with it. It's so irritating with them though. So I just go home, and I'm still working hard on making those things. And yeah. So you guys have a great day, and I will check in with you tomorrow, God willing that it's not dark like it was yesterday. That's why there's no video from yesterday, because it was too dark. All right, have a great day, guys. Happy Wednesday. Bye-bye.